Thank you guys for those of you who were able to jump on. So I'm also recording this because I know there's a lot of people who wanted to watch, and it's hard to find a time that fits everybody because, to be honest, the only time that works for our team is 4:30 in the morning. And I'd be interested to see if I did like a public 4:30 in the morning call, who would be crazy enough to join us. Maybe there's other crazy people out there. But to be honest, our coach calls that are at 4:30 in the morning on Wednesdays have more people that usually than our team calls at 7 o'clock at night. So it's just hard because people have kids and jobs and dinner and putting kids to bed and, So we usually record a lot of these so that we can pass on the information and people can continue to ask questions from there. But I was thinking, like, what did I want to talk about this week? A lot of times I like to choose a health topic to talk about. Other times we talk about mindset and the power of mindset in our challenge groups and in reaching our health and fitness goals, because it's such a huge part of the transformation process and it's really essential, and it's why and how we can get long-term results. And it's not just like a quick fix or a quick lose 10 pounds and then you gain it all back. That's where the huge shift happens. And that's my favorite part. So we've talked about that before. And this particular topic about Shakeology is one of my favorites to talk about because I'm such a nerd in this area. Like, I love learning about superfoods. I love learning about what the human body can do when given the right tools. I love seeing testimonies of people naturally healing themselves, and this is so inspiring to me. And I've been that way before Beachbody came into my life. I researched it. I researched stuff as a hobby for many years, even through nursing school and after nursing school. That was kind of how I found healing myself, was through researching holistic and integrative therapies. And so when Shakeology came into my life and to be honest, like, my first thought was what the majority of people think about Shakeology. Oh, it's just another fad. Oh, it's a scam. Oh, it's a network marketing company. And so it can't be good because it's a network marketing company. And I blew it off for a lot of years. And I continue to see people get amazing results though. And so after I had my first son, in December, almost, where are we, 20 months ago? I'm like, how old is he? I found myself really needing something. I needed something for my hormones and my energy. I needed something to get back in shape. I needed something. I had horrible back pain. And so, long story short, it was kind of a divine timing that God brought this into my life. And I saw my coach, Elizabeth Hartkey's results that were absolutely phenomenal. And she did 22-minute hardcore right after having her son, and like totally got her body back and in better shape than she was before she got pregnant. And I said, that's my goal. I want her mom bod. And so I reached out to her, and not without researching Shakeology very intensely though. Like, I wanted to know all of the ins and outs of it. I wanted to know the source of the ingredients. I wanted to know, is there one ingredient that I don't agree with? Because if so, I don't believe in the company. And I've always had that standard. I've always thought that if there could be a product that has amazing things in it, but if there's one thing, like an artificial sweetener, there's so many products out there with companies who have like really good ingredients in their products, and all of a sudden they throw sucralose in there. And I get so frustrated because if you're in the health industry, you know how bad that is for you. So why would you put it in your product? And then that makes me think that health is not their number one priority. And so I've been really pleasantly surprised that as time has gone on, I haven't ever stopped researching, Beachbody stuff and Shakeology, and getting to know the source of the products, getting to know the heart of the company. And the more that I learn about it, the more impressed I am that there are some amazing companies out there still. Beachbody is not the only one, but it's one of them that really is really passionate about the quality of their ingredients. And so I wanted to kind of put an opportunity out there for people to learn a little bit more about than what they see on the internet, because if you Google Shakeology, you will see a lot of crap. You'll see probably the first page is all scam scheme, blah, blah, blah. All these, there's one article, I think it's from like an ancient something website. It's called like Ancient Minerals or Ancient something. And they did this whole thing that looks, to the average person, if you were to read it, it looks legitimate, that Shakeology is horrible. But if you look at their sources of where they got their information, they're getting opinions from opinions. They're not getting it from actual factual information. And so, and I hate that kind of stuff. So I really try to do my research and give you guys resources. Like, we're going to talk about the clinical trial that they did with Shakeology, which is a scientific based opinion that really showed scientifically the results people had from drinking Shakeology. So that's kind of where my heart is. As a mom now of a 1.5-year-old, I'm still working full time, 40 hours a week, and I'm growing my health and fitness coaching business. I have an awesome husband, and I'm 20 weeks pregnant. And so I'm like, life is crazy. And I seriously tell people, I don't know how other parents do it without Shakeology. I swear I would be a walking zombie all the time. Or I would have to survive on energy drinks, or which being pregnant isn't really an option. So like, I don't know what I would do, and I'm thankful I don't need to know, because for the most part, not all the time, but my energy level is pretty good considering my 1.5-year-old never slept through the night. One night, I take that back. He slept through one night in his entire life. So we're getting there. But it's been a huge game changer for my family. My husband has noticed a huge difference. He wasn't 100% in the beginning, and now he's noticed a huge difference in his digestion and his energy, especially. He has a really high stress level job, and so that's really huge for him. And the difference in his drive and all of that has been big. And then for me to see people I've worked with throughout the last year, a little over a year, March of 2016, I've seen, people have brought me their lab work and showed me I get to get off my cholesterol medication. I get to get off my blood pressure medication. I get to get off this hormone medication that I've been on, things like that. And I guess I should make this disclaimer in the beginning. The FDA has not approved any of the statements that I am making right now. Results are not guaranteed for anybody. But I'm just telling you my experience that this has really happened. And so for me as a registered nurse, when I got into this field so I could help people, I've helped way more people in the last year with their medical stuff and their health issues than I've ever helped in my nursing career. And I graduated from nursing school 2009, so we're going on over 8 years ago. So weird. But just the way our medical system's kind of structured, it's not really structured to heal people at a foundational level. Now I get to do that, and so I want to share that with you guys. Okay, I get out of breath being pregnant, so let me breathe for a second. Okay, so a little bit of a background on kind of my knowledge on supplements and stuff. I was at one time taking, oh gosh, I think I counted it. It was like 80 pills a day because I was taking so many throughout the day. They were all supplements. They were all natural. A lot of them I was muscle tested for, and not to say there was anything wrong with them, but I spent a lot of money, as you could imagine. But at that point in my life, I was so desperate to get healthy. My digestive system was a mess. My hormones were a mess. No one could figure out what was wrong with me or why I had the estrogen levels of a 55-year-old woman at 19 years old. But, I knew that I didn't want to be on birth control to Band-Aid whatever was going on. And I needed to figure this out because I was freaking miserable, right? Having anxiety attacks and all these things. So I went the supplement route. And while it helped a little bit, over the course of a year of taking all of those, it didn't really help me as much as I had hoped for. And so in that time, though, I learned a lot. I learned about adaptogenic herbs, and I learned about superfoods. I learned about inflammation in the body. I learned about insulin. I learned about our blood sugar regulation and why that's so important. And I learned a lot about the links between the digestive system and the hormone system. And so now that I can get all of my supplements in a scoop a day has been like a lifesaver. And for me, financially, it's been a money saver. I spend way less on supplements now than I did before. And so that's been a huge deal for me. I know a lot of people think that Shakeology has a really high price tag, but what I'm going to show you tonight, when you break down what's in it, it's actually cheaper than if you were to buy all of those supplements separately, significantly. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so are you guys ready to dig in? I have my bag of Shakeology here. This is the vegan one, and this is the whey-based one. But what I'd like to do, actually, if this would be helpful for you guys, I'm going to share my screen with you, and I've got a huge blown-up ingredient label. Would that be helpful to kind of talk through things?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold, please. Let me... Okay. Oh, good. How am I going to do this here? I think I'm going to have to minimize this. Okay. Okay, so this is the back of a Shakeology bag. And there are, I will tell you, there's been 2 ingredients added since this label came out, and I couldn't find the updated one, so I'll just tell you what they are. So first, excuse me. So basically, Shakeology breaks down into 5 separate formulas. There are 72 different superfood ingredients in each bag, in each serving that you get. That's what I want to help you guys understand a little bit more about what it is that's in it and why it's so powerful. So the first one is the super protein blend. So many people think that Shakeology is a protein powder. And I get so frustrated sometimes. I'm working on my patience. But I get so frustrated sometimes because people will say, why would I spend $130 on a protein powder when I can go to Walmart and get one for $15? Yes, I know. Nicole, I know. So I say, you know, if Shakeology was just a protein powder, I would totally agree with you. First of all, I wouldn't be paying that for a protein powder. And I would not at all be recommending it to anyone else. So this is a portion of what Shakeology is. It's literally a fifth of its benefits. But it is substantial. So in the regular formulas, they have a whey-based protein. It is undenatured, processed at a very low temperature, no antibiotics, no hormones, no non-GMO, and it's a very high quality whey. Next is Sacha Inchi. Most people have never heard of Sacha Inchi. I wish I had I totally lost all my notes that I made on all of these ingredients. But it's basically a superfood plant that is really high in protein and antioxidants and a ton of other really amazing benefits. You guys have probably heard of chia and flax seeds. Both of those, surprisingly, most people don't know are high in protein. And they're also high in fiber and many other benefits. Fun fact about chia seeds, back in the days, the Romans used to eat those before war or before running marathons because they were so powerful for their energy. And then quinoa, amaranth, brown rice. These are all, so quinoa and amaranth are actually seeds. They're not in the grain category, they're seeds. And their quinoa especially super high in protein. Brown rice, you've all probably heard of brown rice and pea protein. So what I love about this is that you're not just getting one form of protein. You guys may not know, but there are many different forms of protein that absorb differently in our bodies in different ways. And so the fact that we have a blend of different kinds is a huge benefit because it's going to help our body in different ways. You're not just, it's like if you were to only eat red meat for protein instead of getting your protein from eggs, quinoa, you know, there's tons of vegetable sources of protein like lentils and beans, legumes that do different things in the body and are really beneficial in different ways. So I really like that aspect to the protein blend. Any questions about the protein? It's hot in this room. Okay. Okay, so we're going to move on to the Superfruit Antioxidant Blend. This is, let's see if I can move us. There we go. Okay. So the Superfruit and Antioxidant Blend, this has to do with inflammation in the body. It's really powerful with inflammation, killing cancer cells, antioxidants, those types of things. It's going to help benefit your skin. It's going to boost your immune system. You can read this right there. I guess I could just tell you, told you that. But it's really beneficial in multiple areas of your cardiovascular health and your immune system. So Camu Camu, if you're ever going to the store and you're looking for a vitamin C supplement that's going to be absorbed well into the body, Camu Camu is one of the highest herbs, natural herbs. It is one of the natural herbs with the highest levels of vitamin C in it. So it's a really powerful plant. To be honest, I don't know, plant, herb, natural thing. Acai, I'm sure many of you are familiar with acai bowls. They're amazing, but they're also really, really high in antioxidants. Acerola cherry is right up there with Camu Camu and being one of the top vitamin C ingredients that you would want to see in a vitamin C supplement. Because there's a huge difference between synthetic vitamins and whole food vitamins. Whole food vitamins will always be absorbed much easier and will be much more beneficial to our bodies than anything synthetic, always. Bilberry, goji berry, these berries, always good, high in incredible nutrients. I'm not going to tell you, I mean, you literally could Google each one of these 72 ingredients for like 5 hours and read about the incredible benefits, but I'm just going to highlight them. Grapeseed, have you guys heard of grapeseed extract? It's really popular to use for any kind of infection. So you can drink it. It's popular in the natural cancer treatment world. Grapeseed extract, so you can look into that. Green tea obviously has a lot of amazing benefits to it as far as antioxidants go. And then Lohang Guo, pomegranate, same. Rose hips, what I love about rose hips that they included it, rose hips is very special in that when you pair vitamin C supplements with rose hips, it will be much more of it will be absorbed into your body. There's something about the combination of the rose hips herb and vitamin C that makes it much more bioavailable for us to absorb, because we all have heard you are what you eat, but it's actually you are what your body absorbs. If it's not getting absorbed into your system, it's just going to pass through you and you're not going to see any difference. So that's a really huge part of one of the huge things that I love about this specific.
And isn't it also really high in vitamin C itself, rose hips?
Yes.
Like if you were to buy vitamin C tea, it has rose hips in it, usually.
Yeah, and from what I'm told, a lot of times why they put rose hips in it, which I'm pretty sure you're right that it does have vitamin C in it, but it helps so much with the absorption to where if you didn't have rose hips in it, your body wouldn't absorb it. Like anything that's like 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C or higher usually will always have rose hips in it for that purpose, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So, very cool. Any questions on that part? All right, moving on. Super Green Phytonutrient Blend. Who likes drinking wheatgrass? Not me, but okay, well, you're weird, Brad. I'm sorry.
He does not. He makes fun of me for drinking it, so.
Oh, man, you guys. I used to do shots, and maybe you guys do this or have done it before. I used to do shots of chlorella and chew spirulina tabs, and oh my gosh, so gross, but I did it because I knew the benefits were amazing.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so the fact that we can drink a chocolate shake and get all of that in is like a magic trick. So I'm really stoked about that. Moringa, if you guys haven't heard, it's become more popular recently, but it is one of those super greens that has amazing, the research that is been done on moringa. It's been huge for antioxidants, detoxification in the body. All of these greens, as you can read here in green, are really awesome for detoxification and cleansing the body in a natural way that's not going to overload your system. Also, the alkalinization of it. If you guys have never heard, in the 1920s, Dr. Oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Things is a W. Ottoman? What? I don't know. Anyways, I will find it for you. A doctor won the Nobel Prize in the 1920s for finding that cancer cells cannot survive an alkaline environment, but they thrive in an acidic environment. Why that is not all over the news and all of our doctors' offices, I have my own theories about. But the point is that you need to know it, because none of us want to have cancer, and none of us want to deal with any of these crazy diseases that are out there. And this is a huge way to avoid that, is by raising the pH of your body. And you do that by eating more whole foods and by eating more greens. So we have a huge list of greens that are in our Shakeology every day. Chlorella, one of my favorite superfoods because of its ability to detoxify the body, especially from heavy metals. So one thing that I love about chlorella is it's unique in that it acts like a magnet to toxins in your body. So when people do a detox and they don't know what they're doing, or they're not ready, or they don't have something like chlorella, what can happen is your fat cells will release these toxins that have been stored, and instead of leaving your body, they're going to recirculate and be processed through your liver again. And that's one of the biggest reasons why people have like a detox effect or feel horrible when they're starting to eat healthy again or exercise, because their body's detoxing. So one of the cool things about chlorella, it acts like a magnet to toxins. So as your body's releasing it from all these other super greens and your healthy lifestyle, chlorella is going to attract all those toxins, and then the fiber that's in Shakeology, like the chia and the flax, is going to help flush it out of your colon so that it's not recirculating and causing more problems for you. Chlorella also acts like a magnet for heavy metals. A lot of heavy metals have the potential to cross our blood-brain barrier, which is a special protector barrier that we have in around our brain to prevent potentially harmful what is the word that I'm thinking? I want to say ingredients. Yeah, so yeah, which is a huge reason behind the increase of Alzheimer's and stuff. But basically, like aluminum, things like that can cross that blood-brain barrier, get into your brain, and cause a lot of bad things to happen. Well, chlorella has a special ability to detoxify your body from heavy metals, which is a huge plus with the world that we live in today. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it can get overwhelming to learn about all the crap that we have to deal with in our air, in our water, in our food, and everything, right? It's really easy to get disheartened and have that attitude of, well, I have to die of something, so I might as well go eat a cheeseburger, and I hear it all the time. But the fact that we have something, a huge tool like this to help our bodies kind of deal with all the crap that we have to deal with out in our environment is really encouraging. So chlorella is a badass. Okay, spirulina, also an amazing, it's an algae. Chlorella and spirulina are both algae, and spirulina is incredibly high in protein. All the research and studies on it have shown that it's amazing at cell regeneration, which is always a good thing, right? You're either regenerating or you're degenerating. I'm gonna run out of water. I get so excited. Spinach. Who loves spinach? Sometimes, maybe I love spinach if it's got like figs on it and walnuts and like cheese, and or if I can't taste it, it's not that bad. Spinach is in our Shakeology. Barley grass is the same. Kamut grass, not as popular, but it's still one of the grasses that helps with our alkalinity. Wheatgrass and oatgrass. So it's really important for those of you to know with a gluten allergy, Shakeology is tested for gluten sensitivity, and it does not contain actual gluten. I just want you to know that. Okay, any question about Super Green Phytonutrient Blend? Oh my gosh, you guys, the next part is my favorite. The next part is my favorite because it's such like a life changer for so many people. Most people struggle with hormone imbalance and they don't even know it, and they struggle with their energy levels. There have been so many women, especially, who have come to me and said, I've been trying to follow this diet and I'm working out all the time and I just don't know why, but I cannot lose weight, especially around my midsection. And so I'll say, okay, what are you eating? Well, I'm eating egg whites and I'm eating broccoli and chicken every day for lunch. And for dinner, I usually have a light salad. And I'm like, and what else are you eating? Well, that's it. Okay. The reason why most people can't lose, most women especially, have a hard time losing weight is they're not eating enough. And when you do that, you stress your body out even more. Most of us have no shortage of stress in our life. So if we're adding that on top of all the stress that we go through, what's going to happen is your hormones are going to be all thrown up. You're thrown up? Nope. Thrown off. Your hormones will not throw up. That's interesting. And so what happens is your cortisol, the hormone cortisol is released in your body. That causes inflammation. And what cortisol is designed to do is to give you energy in a life-threatening situation, like if you're running from a bear or a bad guy, or you have to lift a car off of your baby, you know, that supernatural strength that you get, that's what cortisol is intended to do. Unfortunately, in our day and age, it is released all the time because for the most part, a lot of us are always stressed. And so what cortisol will do is it will really throw off our progesterone, our estrogen, our testosterone levels, and it will cause weight gain, usually in our belly, in our hips, in the areas that we do not want to. Hi, Gracie. In the areas that we do not want to gain weight, right? I don't know one person who wants to gain weight in those areas. So if they do, that is all they need to do is starve themselves and stress out all the time, and they will be really happy with their results. So this specific blend of herbs is so powerful because, first of all, it's very rare to find in a superfood complex. And I've researched each one of these individually before Shakeology ever came into my life. And I used to buy them individually because I knew how powerful they were. They're not only powerful against stress and for hormone balance, but they're really powerful against cancer. And again, not FDA approved, whatever. But if you research literally clinical trials with cordyceps, with maitake, with reishi, with schizandra, with the two new superfoods that have been added is chaga mushroom, which I'm like super stoked about. Most people are like, what is a chaga? I'm like, you don't even know it's going to change your life. And matcha, like matcha green tea for another antioxidant. So had to add those in. But the research with chaga and cancer cells, like, is phenomenal, and inflammation in the body and all these degenerative diseases, these medicinal mushrooms are so powerful. So the fact that we're getting a dose in every scoop of Shakeology, to me, is like gold. It's like a liquid gold. So ashwagandha, astragalus, schizandra, and tulsi are very powerful adaptogens. So before I go on, I should probably explain what that is. An adaptogenic herb is very much what it sounds like. So it's going to bring you to baseline. So if you're super stressed or super anxious, it's going to help bring you down to baseline. If you're really depressed and lethargic and exhausted, it'll help bring you up to baseline. It will never stimulate you to be jittery. Like, it's not a stimulant like coffee or anything like that. But it literally just helps your body adapt to stress, which is super powerful, like I said, in our culture. If any of you have spent any time away from our American culture, you realize how crazy we are. We're effective and we work hard, but unfortunately, a lot of times we work hard for our whole lives and then we have a heart attack or cancer at the end of it, and we don't get to enjoy our life because we're so freaking stressed out all the time. And so this formula is super powerful in that aspect. Again, cordyceps, even ginkgo. Ginkgo is huge for adaptogenic properties and for healing your adrenal glands and for memory. Maca is really powerful in hormone regulation for men and women. It's known to be a natural aphrodisiac, just so you know. If you give it to your kids, they're not gonna experience that. But for adults, it is really the reason why it's considered an aphrodisiac is because it really helps in testosterone production in men, and it really helps to balance the progesterone estrogen balance in women. And so, which is huge, especially for how many couples struggle with infertility these days. A lot of that comes from hormone imbalance. And so, if we can help fix that problem, think about how life-changing that can be for so many families. Schizandra, I used to buy these really expensive Schizandra drops because it was known to be such a huge stress reliever and help you feel calm. Again, not help you feel like stoned calm, but like help you feel calm from your stress and help you focus more. And if you think about two people, one who has a super stressed, fast-paced life and the other who is grounded, works hard, but is not stressed all the time, is not anxious, and enjoys life at a slower pace, who do you think is going to have the better health between the two? Obviously, the person who stresses less, right? And so this is a really big deal. This is a big deal in the long run for us, for parents. This is why a lot of people notice an energy boost when they drink Shakeology. It's because of this specific blend that really helps your body with stress management. One of our team members on our team, I've worked with her for many years in different capacities before Beachbody ever came along. She has a crazy health history. She's had cancer numerous times. She's been on hospice numerous times. She's a young mom, and we tried many different supplements with her. Her kidneys were failing at one time, and her hormones were a mess, and her heart had damage from the chemo that they put her on. Just like a crazy story. She's experienced a ton of benefits already from Shakeology, which I'm so excited about. And she just posted in our team page the other day that she was a part of our 2-week Shakeology test group, where all she did was drink 2 servings of Shakeology every day for 2 weeks. She had blood drawn before and after. Before, the doctors were begging her to go on thyroid medication because her thyroid was so out of balance, and she refused. And when she had her blood drawn after those 2 weeks, it probably was a month between the two, the doctors said, "You're totally fine. Your thyroid levels are totally fine. They're totally normal now." Her liver and kidney levels have improved, which for her was so huge because she used to be on dialysis every day. And there were some other numbers that really improved. So that to me is our own clinical trial that we ran. And what a huge testimony for her and a life-changing experience for her in such a short period of time. It blew my mind. I knew the power of this, but it really blew my mind. And that benefit to the thyroid and to the adrenal glands, a lot of that comes from this specific blend. And that's why I get so excited about it, because we all, to some extent, struggle with hormone imbalance because of life. And so this is huge. This is huge for guys also because it really helps testosterone production. My husband is reading in, I think it's the Men's Fitness Journal or something, that like it said something, I'm totally going to butcher what he said, but it was something along the lines of, you are only a quarter of the man that your grandpa was. And it had to do with testosterone levels in men these days and how they're so much lower than they were a couple decades ago, and a couple generations ago. And there's a lot of reasons why that happens. I mean, we've got a lot of estrogen mimicking chemicals that are in a lot of lotions these days and skincare products and soaps that will increase men's estrogen. And stress is a huge thing that will decrease their testosterone. And our diet, for the standard American diet, is not a good thing for testosterone production. So it's really cool to be able to have something to give guys that is going to help naturally increase their testosterone. I had another one of the people on our team who's been doing it for a little bit, and he as well used to get testosterone injections. He had to because his levels were so low. And after doing 2 servings of Shakeology for a month, he was able to get off of his cholesterol meds completely and cut his testosterone injections in half. Nice. Only from a month of doing that, he was like so stoked, and he lost 20 pounds, and life-changing for him. I could see just in our conversation. So this is why I get so excited about this portion of Shakeology. Any questions about that? I just blabbered on. Okay, and we came to the final portion of Shakeology, the digestive blend. So I read a book one time, this was a couple years ago, about the theory that pretty much all disease starts from an enzyme deficiency. And it was a really interesting theory that had a lot of truth to it. Not saying I 100% agree, but basically what the author of the book was saying was that we are born with a certain amount of enzymes, and because we eat such the average person eats such a dead diet that has no enzymes in it, that we are using up all of our enzymes to help digest this food when we have like so many different types of enzymes. Enzymes break things down, right? And so like cancer cells a lot of times are protected by a protein shell, and if we had enough enzymes to break that protein shell down, our immune system could attack it and destroy it. Well, a lot of us are very enzyme deficient, and so we don't have the capability to break down that protein shell in order for our immune system to attack it, and that was one of his theories. Everyone who has digestive problems most likely has an enzyme deficiency of some sort. And so I love that we have added enzymes in our Shakeology. I used to take supplemental enzymes just for my digestive system personally, and I'm really thankful. So the enzymes here are all the ones that end with ACE. So the amylase is for carbohydrate breakdown. Sorry. I can't remember all of these. Cellulase, I can't remember. Cellular breakdown, let's guess. Lactase is obviously for lactose, to break down the milk particles. Lipase is for fats, protease is for proteins, and then bromelain and papain are naturally occurring digestive enzymes that are found in papaya and pineapple. If you were to go buy a digestive enzyme, most likely it'd have these 2 in it. And so those are really, really powerful for multiple reasons in your digestive system. If your food is not breaking down properly in your stomach, it's going to travel through to your small intestine undigested, and that is going to cause what's called leaky gut syndrome. It's going to cause a lot of parasite and yeast. It's going to grow your parasite and yeast issues and cause a lot of bloating, cause constipation, cause all those uncomfortable feelings that none of us like to deal with. So it's really awesome that Shakeology has enzymes in it. And then the lactobacillus is the probiotic, and the yucone root is a prebiotic, which feeds the probiotic to make it stronger. So how I've explained the benefit of probiotics to people before is to imagine like your small intestine is a battlefield, and you have the good guys and the bad guys. You have the good bacteria, probiotic. You have the bad bacteria, which comes from everything, right? Because it's just naturally there, and it's usually not a problem unless the bad guys are bigger or they have more bad guys than you do good guys. So when you take an antibiotic, if you break that word down, anti against bio, life, anti-life, take an antibiotic to kill the bacteria. when you take it, it's like throwing a grenade into your small intestine and it kills everyone.
Mm-hmm.
If you're to kill everyone, what happens? You're susceptible, right? And a lot of times, due to the average person's diet, the 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 bacteria that comes back quicker is the bad bacteria. And this is why so many people have infections after they take antibiotics. They'll have digestive issues or they'll have yeast infections after they're on antibiotics, and it can take a while to heal from that. So I highly recommend only using antibiotics in very severe necessary situations. First of all, use probiotics as much as possible because you want to build up your strong army, right? And a lot of people don't realize the importance of your digestive system either. And again, going back to you are what you absorb. All of your nutrients are absorbed in your small intestine. Your small intestine is super long and it's all squiggly up like noodles. And along the tube of your small intestine, you have these hair-like structures that kind of move food up and down. And they're called microvilli. And they have little, I don't know what you're going to call them, but basically micro holes on them that absorb nutrients. And the nutrients go from your small intestine out to the rest of your body. Well, those get damaged from yeast and parasites and a poor diet, like really high in sugar, artificial sweeteners, things like that. And it damaged those microvilli. And when those are damaged, you can't absorb your nutrients. This is why people like who have celiac disease usually cannot put weight on because all of their microvilli, or a lot of them, have been completely destroyed and they can't absorb nutrients, so everything goes straight through them. So we want to take care of our small intestine because our energy and our health, the rest of our nourishment of our body depends on it. A lot of people also don't realize that 70% of your immune system is within your digestive system. And I know that's weird to think about, but usually if you have immune issues, it always starts in your gut. So that's one of the things I really love helping people with. That's why things like sauerkraut are really powerful. Inner Eco is a really powerful liquid probiotic. You can do kefir. There's a lot of amazing like food type probiotics that aren't going to cost you a ton, and they'll be super powerful in your for your digestive system and your immune system also. So that's kind of one of my favorite parts of Shakeology too. I think something super high, like 90-something% people who drink Shakeology notice a difference, a beneficial difference in their digestive system. It's one of the most common things that I hear first from people who start drinking it is how much more regular they are, how much less bloated that they feel, and most people notice it right away. So,
and if you don't drink it for a couple days, you notice it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That is true. You know, sometimes I almost want to recommend people to stop drinking Shakeology for a couple days so you notice how much better you function with it. And it's not like, right?
Yeah.
Nicole's a teacher. She'll tell you.
Yeah. You know, the biggest difference for me is because I started drinking it at the end of the school year. Biggest difference is not having the 3:00 crash. Like all the students are gone and I crashed. Like I would have to have chocolate or coffee. Like I would make a cup of coffee at 3:00 a lot. Yeah. And now I don't have that as much. I mean, I drank it like the end of the school year, and now I'm going to go back into the school year, and I'm going to do the 2-week, to do it twice a day.
Awesome.
Just to start the school year. And, you know, there's a lot of hormones going around and a lot of change in our school district. It just, I don't want to be like this.
Totally.
You know, up and down emotions. And so I feel like I really see a difference in that. And I think that myself, you know, as a woman, I really feel like you, especially when you work with other women, sometimes that you see that a lot more.
Yeah.
And I don't see it as much when myself, I'm able to cope with it.
Right. So. That's so awesome. That's so awesome, because that's specifically one of the signs of adrenal fatigue too. Is like whenever I'm working with someone and they're telling me these different symptoms. So for you guys to know, the most common symptoms of adrenal fatigue is you have that 3 o'clock crash.
Yep.
You're exhausted in the morning. It's super hard to get up in the morning, but you almost have insomnia at night sometimes.
Oh,
Like
you
you can't
totally. If you
sleep.
don't go to bed by 8 o'clock, you can't. Like
Hmm.
I wasn't going to bed till like 11 or 12 because I couldn't go to sleep.
Wow.
So
But
I'm on
mhm.
adrenal medicine from my doctor, and I need to get retested because I think I could probably go back off of it.
Hmm.
But
That's so awesome. Yeah, those are like the most common, or you're craving like salty foods, or you crave sugary foods, and everything else is thrown off. And one thing that's really good to know too, I promise this is my last fun fact, and then I'm going to talk to you about the clinical trial. But so a lot of people have thyroid issues these days, and for whatever reason, a lot of doctors do not explain the link between your thyroid and your adrenal glands, and they go hand in hand. You cannot have a healthy one without the other one being healthy. You cannot achieve balance without both of them being addressed. And
yeah,
so a lot of people are on thyroid meds and doing nothing for their adrenal glands. And what will happen is their thyroid will maybe their numbers will be better, but it will always be drained from the adrenal glands that are stressed out all the time. Until those adrenal glands can be nourished, then they can support your thyroid and vice versa. They work very intimately together. And so that's one of the things that I love in like our workout programs, for the most part, are not super long, because a lot of people kill themselves at the gym and they're adding more stress onto their life, and they're not going to lose weight. They're going to feel worse. They're not going to feel better. And so the fact that we can do 20, 30-minute workouts at home and get really good results is really awesome, because people who struggle with adrenal or thyroid issues shouldn't really be doing more than that. So
yeah.
I do love that part. Okay, I'm going to show you this really quick. Oh, shoot. What did I do? Silly goose. Okay, so if you guys are interested on looking at this on your own, all you have to do is Google Shakeology clinical trial. And it's very cool because they did an actual clinical trial a few years ago. And this article really breaks down what they were looking at, the details on the study. There were 50 participants required to drink Shakeology for breakfast and lunch for 90 days without making any diet or exercise modifications. This is where I got the idea to do our 2-week challenge. They were monitored with an app. I don't want to read this whole thing to you, but so these are the results. So again, remember, for 90 days, all they did was drink Shakeology. They did not do any exercise or diet modifications. When they drank Shakeology for breakfast, they had a significant reduction in the desire to eat lunch. Over the course of 90 days, participants lost an average of 9.3 pounds, with the highest weight loss being 24 pounds, which is amazing in 3 months of, think about that. Like, some people did not exercise at all, ever. Maybe they were eating pizza and junk food still. This is just adding 2 servings of Shakeology into their diet every day. Pretty phenomenal. And this is interesting facts about the result is participants continued to lose weight throughout the entire study, which is cool, because a lot of times people will lose weight in the beginning and they'll plateau, and then nothing will happen. So the fact that they were losing weight consistently, slowly, and steadily throughout those 90 days is awesome, because that's the kind of weight that will stay off. It's not the kind of weight that's going to come right back on. Okay, cholesterol plummeted, which is exciting. The average total cholesterol reduction was 7%, with the maximum reduction being 50%. Can you imagine your cholesterol being cut in half in 90 days just from adding this milkshake to this chocolate peanut butter goodness to your life twice a day? Yeah, that's phenomenal. And then blood sugar, which is huge because you have so many people who are pre-diabetic or actually diabetic. And so this shows that the participants' blood sugar levels were monitored rather than testing just a single day's blood sugar, which can vary all the time. They evaluated the average blood sugar for each day over the 3-month period, also known as the hemoglobin A1C. This is the number that they take their blood, and this is what determines if someone's diabetic or if they need to be on insulin or not. So that's a really big deal for any diabetic, because you don't always go off of the finger sticks that's most commonly known about. You actually go off of the blood test. So I love that they actually did that. So they reduced their blood sugar by an average of 5%, while some reduced their numbers by up to 19%, which is so powerful, because again, they're not changing their diet, so they're probably still eating crap, and they're not exercising, so they don't have that benefit of reducing their hemoglobin A1C. The fact that they can actually lower their blood sugars purely with Shakeology, I think, is such a phenomenal achievement. So those are the 3 things that they you can read that. You guys can read that later if you want. Those are the 3 things that they looked at. But I love using that because it's numbers. Numbers don't lie, and it truly is just based off of Shakeology. Now think about the power of adding Shakeology with our fitness routine and keeping each other accountable with daily exercise on top of a meal plan that is not a diet and is not super restrictive. It's just teaching you how to have portion control in all the right areas. Think of how powerful. This is why people get such amazing results from these programs. This is why people, will drop a ton of weight, or even better is the internal transformations that we see when people start to believe in themselves again, and they start to feel confident in their capabilities as a human. My favorite part of the year is going to Beachbody Summit and seeing the transformations and seeing the people who win the $100,000 prize and watching their video of losing like 200 pounds and going from being like morbidly obese and not being able to do any kind of physical activity but pressing play anyways, doing the best they can, to fitting in a size 6 dress. Like, it's so amazing. And their appreciation and their gratitude because they've gotten their life back is just so phenomenal. So this is why I'm so passionate about it. This is why I will never stop drinking it. This is why I love to talk about it, because it's really changing lives, and what a better way to have an actual impact in the world than to be able to empower parents to be better parents for their kids, and help people to live in their purpose. Not everyone's meant to do this for a living, but you have a purpose to do something, and you can't do that. You can't help anyone if you're not helping yourself, and if you're not living at 100% yourself. So this is the best solution I found in all my research, and I just really love being able to share it with everybody else. Do you guys have any questions or anything that you want to share before I let you go? April, you're muted. If you wanted to unmute yourself, let me know. No. Cool. Brad Nicole, thank you so much for jumping on. Your mic doesn't work. Oh, shoot, dang. Well, I wish I knew sign language. Okay. Are the sugars added? Oh, great question. In the new, I just noticed that in their new formula, I know in the vegan formula, they have organic cane sugar. That has not always been in there. But when people look at the sugar content of being like, each flavor changes a little bit, but they've got like 6 and 7 grams of sugar. That is not all from the organic cane sugar. That is also from the superfruits and that kind of stuff. I, to be honest, don't know the amount of actual organic cane sugar that's in it, but I do know that their glycemic index of Shakeology is still really low. It's still below apples. If you actually research glycemic index of Shakeology, it'll come up with the different flavors. I think strawberry is the lowest, if I remember right off the top of my head.
Stevia.
But they're all.
Stevia? Is there stevia?
There is stevia in it as well. And the Lohan Glow is a sweetener too. And I think they have, yeah, I think that's it.
I'm not a huge stevia person myself. Like that was kind of a turn off to me. But when you add fruit or some other stuff, it's okay. Like you can kind of mask it. But I'm really sensitive to stevia, but it doesn't really have a lot of sweetener. It is sweet, and it depends. I think it depends on the flavor.
I agree.
Like I feel like the vanilla is really sweet for me.
Yeah.
But other ones are not as sweet. So if you're not a sweet person, like I like the green berry or the cafe latte because it's not quite as sweet. I love green berry and I love putting like mango and banana, and that's my favorite one.
Chocolate peanut butter banana. Boom.
Boom. Dagler special.
Yep.
Beet sugar, I don't think is in Shakeology, but I think it's in the recovery. And that reminds me, because usually when I see beet sugar, I think GMO ingredients because a lot of the beet sugar is genetically modified. But Shakeology continuously runs GMO tests to make sure that there's no GMO ingredients in their products, which I'm really thankful for because I think GMOs are from the devil and I hate Monsanto. So, any other questions you guys have? I'm trying to think if there's anything that comes up in questions. Oh, I was going to tell you when I sat down, it took me like an hour and I wrote down all the formulas and I did research on the best deal I could find for high quality supplements that matched. And when I broke it all down, it ended up being between $180 and $200 a month for me to get the same kind of nutrition that I get from Shakeology, which retail Shakeology is $130, and then if you register as a coach, it's $100 a month. So you're really saving a lot. And I did that supplement route, and like I said, I feel so much better with this. I feel like my body absorbs it a lot better than all the capsules. So So there. Okay, I kept you 1 minute past an hour. I apologize. I get so excited, but thank you guys so much. It's always a pleasure talking with you. And I'm going to post this video. I'll probably post it and I'll put it on YouTube, and then I'll post it on my Health Patriot page, and then I'll post it in our team page, and then on our coach page too, so you guys can share it. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go eat something. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.